All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by Mary Fitzgerald from Selling Sunset. Thank you for joining us, Mary. She just said that they were all at Coachella together. They were watching the new season. Tell us how that was.
It was interesting. It's very entertaining for sure. I think it kind of gives some clarity in a way on the relationships and why we are where we are. From season 4, I think it was kind of confusing, and then I think it kind of shed some light onto why we are where we are.
Yeah, definitely. It's I said that this is truly one of the most binge-worthy shows. The episodes they're not super long. It's a short, like, you can finish a season so fast. I probably expect everybody to be who's listening right now to have finished the season already, because it's just like in one weekend you're done, you're in, and
You can't stop in the middle.
No,
you
you
just
can't.
got to keep
You
going.
have to keep going.
You maybe stop to go to sleep, and then you wake up and you put it right back on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is so true. It started off with you guys on that infamous trip to Greece, and we saw the debut of Chriselle and Jason, and it's certainly a roller coaster for them throughout the entire season. I want to start from the beginning, though, and how you felt when these two first connected.
Um, I was shocked at first, but I kind of caught on to it before they told everybody. So when we went to Greece, I'd already known for a couple months. I was out with the two of them, and I realized that I was invited quite often, because I was like the little buffer, so people wouldn't suspect anything. And once I caught on, then they were like, "Great, now we can just tell you we need you." But I saw them. I just know Jason so well, and I was sitting there, and I could just see the way he was looking at her, and I was like, "What's going on? Hang on." He's like, "No, nothing, nothing." I'm like, "Mm-hmm, okay." So I just kind of caught on to it, and then obviously I'm not going to tell anybody, but it's important for them to keep that secret, I think, until they figure out what is going on, because obviously not only the office is going to weigh in on it, but the world is going to weigh in on it, and they just needed time to make sure it was right. And then unfortunately, you know, future desires and family desires got in the way,
Yeah.
but they were a great couple.
How did everyone react? You said you found out, you kept it quiet because he is, your guys' boss. So how did everyone else in the office react to that?
I think most people were pretty. Everybody was shocked, but everybody was very supportive. I mean, it's not like we're employees. We're all
Yeah.
independent contractors, so it's not the same thing as in some sort of a normal work environment.
Right.
So I mean, that's not a problem for any of us. I mean, there's a couple of people that will always say something. They'll always have an opinion or comment, like things are unfair, but that's not the way it is. I mean, Jason doesn't give away listings. He's not going to give away his own money.
Yeah.
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 We actually have to work for our own business. So
Right.
I mean, there are stupid comments that are made, but it's just not true.
Yeah. Now that you guys have been on this show for, this is the 5th season, I do feel like I personally see a lot of kind of comparisons to like a show like Vanderpump Rules, something like that, where everyone starts, they knew each other before, they worked together, and now all of a sudden they're on a reality show. And
Yeah.
as the show progressed, it was like, are these people really working in SUR anymore? Like, they're not, like, they're filming and they're waiting tables, but we don't ever see them not doing this stuff when the cameras aren't rolling. Now that you guys are 5 seasons in, is everyone still as dedicated to the real estate game as they were when they started?
Um, not everybody.
Yeah. Some more than
Yeah. Well,
others.
you got a promotion, so you seem to be dedicated.
Yes.
I'm dedicated. My time is definitely spread thin. So I would say part of my time, like part of my time is focused on dealing with the other agents, dealing with certain problems and stuff in the office. But I'm still very much an agent. I always will be. And I think a lot of the girls are working actually more than they were before because the show has brought more business to us and people that wouldn't know who we are otherwise. Like I've got multiple clients in London that are coming over. I think Chriselle's done a couple things with athletes. She got in with one, and then it's a referral kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's opened the doors to a lot of us. Emma's doing great.
I see all of her Instagram posts of these beautiful, like $20 million homes. It's crazy. This could be kind of a silly question, but like now that you guys have this fame per se, and people know who you are, and when you're posting on social media these listings and these open houses, how do you do people show up who just want to meet you or go see the house that could be on a show? Like, is it harder to really figure out what is a realistic offer and who is being serious about buying a house?
Well, realistic offers in this market, anything's realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, you could offer like 100,000, 500,000, $1 million over asking, whatever, depending on the price of the home, and it's all realistic.
Yeah.
So that part, but yeah, when we are in open houses, people come in all the time. People call us up all the time, saying that they're a buyer, they're looking for this home, and we have to qualify people and really vet them well because they just want to go around and see LA homes and meet us and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, we can't waste our time on that. We really have to be selective on who we work with and make sure that they are actually qualified, get proof of funds and double check the proof of funds.
Right.
They also submit fake proof of funds.
Mm-hmm. So. Oh my gosh, I'm sure people go to crazy lengths.
And don't people show up like outside the office now?
Oh yeah, all day.
And how often are you guys actually in that office?
It depends. It depends what we have going on. I mean, we don't just sit in the office all day. If we did, then we wouldn't be out working and showing homes.
You wouldn't be selling houses.
It is funny. Like, it is in such a busy area. I remember we've stayed up the street and I went to get my makeup done in that Blue Mercury that's next door. Yeah. And I was like, wait a second, the office is right here.
It is such a popular area.
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was like, wow, this is where they've been this whole time. It's very different seeing it in real life. But you got to take on a bigger role in the office this season, like we said, with this promotion. And how did you feel when that happened? Because when Jason told you, you looked shocked, like you had no idea.
No, I didn't. I knew he was going down to OC a lot, and I think a lot of it, honestly, was that I get along with most girls. He always brings me in if there's if there's a new agent or something he wants advice on. He knows that I can kind of feel out from just a woman perspective, from just being friends with the girls, and I kind of get a read on people fairly well. I mean, sometimes obviously I'm wrong, but I feel like I can just kind of assess the situation, and it kind of a second point of view for him. So he brings me in on stuff like that. And then I can also kind of ease the way in to the other girls to try to help people out when they're new.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty open-minded about stuff. So yeah, he brings me in, kind of partners up with me on most things for the last couple of years anyway. So I think it was kind of a natural progression.
Yeah. Now, obviously, this season we see a lot of drama play out. How do you try to focus on work and not get distracted by the drama, although you guys have to talk about it because they're filming you and it's not just going to be swept under the rug?
Yeah. I think it feels like it gets amped up a lot more than what we would like, because, and this is how production explained it to me, when I'm like, I'm not talking about this anymore. But they said people aren't in our heads.
Yeah.
And they aren't, so we have to talk about what has happened. They're not in our heads. So we have to kind of verbalize it and explain how we feel about something. And normally, you would just have a feeling and move on. And if you don't want to be involved in the drama, that's how you typically deal with it. But when you're on the show, you have to verbalize it, which makes it feel like it's getting even bigger and more emotional and intrusive to our lives than it needs to be. But I get it. And so I feel like especially in this new role, I feel like I just have to have two hats. And from a friend perspective, and for myself, I have to have my set of feelings and thoughts on one hand, and then on the other, then I'm like, okay, I have to put all of that aside and think about what is best for the office and what is best for the other agents. So
right. We see you.
It does make it difficult. Like when I'm friends with all the other agents, and I'm like, I want to protect my friends, but I can't because I'm like,
yeah. I mean, and it's harder even when you take a job that's maybe these ladies' bosses in a way where you are friends with all of them. And we see that too, where you're having these conversations and Emma, she's killing it, but some of the other agents maybe aren't. So you kind of have to be pretty direct, and that can be hard in a friendship, and to like tell your friend, hey, time to pick it up a little bit. Did you ever have any negative reactions from the girls after sort of having conversations like that, telling some of them, they're not carrying their weight?
I mean, a little, not too bad, but a little bit where, I mean, there's like, come on, that's unfair. And this is going to make me look bad or something. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, pick it up and it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. And I have a hard time like being mean. So I think that is kind of difficult for me. I mean, I can be firm, but I don't like being mean. And I always try to give people benefit of the doubt and a second chance and stuff. But at a certain point, I'm like, come on. I mean,
we have to talk about the Christine of it all, because she is a major part of this season. I know she's a major part of this season. She's not in the office. When she comes in, it seems like it's kind of a disaster, and then of course we see at the end that perhaps she was going behind Emma's back with clients, which is absolutely crazy. And you guys tried to have a conversation with her that didn't actually happen. How did that relationship just kind of deteriorate like that?
It seems like it just keeps getting worse and worse. And this is, I think, what all of us feel, that the person I was friends with, the person I knew, like, I don't even know who she is anymore. And it's really sad. I think, there's always room and the ability to change. We're all open-minded. People mess up, people act stupid and stuff. But if you're willing to change and willing to like do better, you have a place. Like Davina, I mean, she I feel like she completely stepped it up. She learned from her mistakes and she's really trying to be better. Shocker, even Romain thinks so. Yeah. I mean, he didn't want to admit it, but then when he even watched it back, I'm like, see, I told you she's doing better. Because at first he was like, Mary, you're not going to get me to like her. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, babe, please, just keep an open mind. No. God. And then he had to say, he was like, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Because he wasn't there in all the scenes and in the office and stuff. Yeah. So, but with Christine, I don't understand why she does the things she does and why she can't just admit, like, I was wrong. Like, yeah, I tried to cover up a lie. It got worse. It started snowballing. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. I just don't understand why she keeps digging herself deeper into a hole. And then now, I mean, I don't know how disrespectful you can be to not only do something so unethical. I mean, it's borderline illegal. Yeah. And then also just not have the respect to even show up and say, yes, I did this. Yes, I'm sorry. Like something like, I don't know, I was stupid. I was desperate. Like whatever it is, like she doesn't even have the decency to show up. But then when I watched the show and then I see her comment and I was like, oh, wow. Okay. You just made it even worse.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, how, like, it's mind boggling to me. Like, she's already like in such a like deep water and she just keeps making it worse for herself. She's like, I don't have to answer to anybody. I'm like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So we were actually at the People's Choice Awards and we were sitting right behind you guys. And we had seen...
You're like, uh-oh.
But no, Christine was there and we were sitting there. And then she got up and then you guys came in and then we never saw her again. And we were like, that's strange. We wonder why she got up and wasn't with you guys. And she completely left. And now it's all making sense watching this back.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to know that like sometimes like when you watch on reality TV, you're like, maybe this is all kind of played up. And then sometimes it's like, it kind of feels like this is how they
feels
really
like
feel.
It's real.
Yeah, it is real.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wish it were all made up. I really do. I mean, on this, like, it really just, I think it affects all of our lives, like more than any of us want it. So, I mean, on a day-to-day basis, she doesn't really come in the office. She doesn't hang out with us. Right. So we're unaffected.
She is still she's still an Oppenheim group. Like, can you tell? Because she's on the website. I was like, I literally as soon as the season ended, I was like, well, what happened? Like, I'm Googling. She's still on the website. I'm like, do we have to wait for season 6?
I think you guys have to wait for season 6.
They put out these seasons fast.
They do. I mean, season 4 and 5 came out very, very close together. So I would hope for something like that too. But Christine also brought in a new girl this season, Chelsea, and it felt like maybe it was Christine's lifeline to being social on this season because it wasn't like anybody else was hanging out with her. What is your impression of Chelsea and how has she now gotten along with the other women?
Chelsea's great. I like her. I think I was very concerned at first just because, I mean, not guilty by association, but I just wanted to make sure. But she has a similar kind of personality, like the over the top, personality, I guess, like Christine.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure she actually is putting the work.
Right. She's very eccentric. That's the word I would use.
Yes, that's a good word for it. But she's actually very sweet, and she is a girl's girl where she doesn't believe in hitting below the belt. She doesn't believe in tearing people down. From what she says and what I can tell so far, I mean, she seems great. If Christine has somebody on her team that if she's a good influence for her and helps her come out of her whole coffin, really at this point, then great.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let Chelsea, her behavior and her actions speak for herself. I mean, I'm not going to judge her based on their friendship. I don't really care if she's friends with Christine.
Right.
Now, you and Romaine, you guys are going strong. It seems like you have a great relationship. How do you guys keep that strong relationship while also filming the show, social media? Everybody wants to know about it.
Yeah. I think we just don't really take any of it too seriously. We're focused on each other and working. I mean, we barely see each other. So
I was going to say it was a big
fight.
A big part of this season was you guys trying to figure out how to make more time for each other.
Yeah, and then I got the promotion.
Yeah.
So that didn't work out so well. We are trying to. We've been trying to do that embryo freezing too for about the past, I would like to say year, but it's really like 2 years. Yeah. But now we're actually getting back into it and doing it, but it's a nightmare. I mean, because it takes so much time and trying to squeeze that in. That's why we know we can't have a baby right now. We have to wait for probably a couple more years, probably, because we're just too busy and neither of us are really ready to slow down quite yet.
Yeah.
So, but I think we value the time we have together. So, we don't get a lot of it. When we do, it's typically either just fun, like chill at home, and quality time together, or we try to do like little staycations, go away just for a couple of days. And we feel like that really, really helps. Of course, every relationship has ups and downs where you just, you get irritated with each other and you're like, but we've even gotten through that where Jason noticed it too. He's like, wow, you guys are actually really, really seem good. And I think because now it's like, when you have a hard day and like you're just frustrated, you take it out on the person that is never going anywhere, and you come home and you're just like, no, 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 just like just venting. And we used to, I think, get hurt by it. We're like, why are you yelling at me? And it's not that. Or if we snap or do something towards each other, now we're just like, all right, I'm over it. Like, I mean, you go to your corner, I'm going to go to mine. And then we wake up in the morning, we're like, hey, babe.
Yep.
And we just like let go of like what we know it's like stupid, petty, whatever. If neither of us even know what we're bickering about, then we're like, let's just go to bed, get some sleep. We'll be fine in the morning. And we are now. So, so we've really kind of learned how to get past just the stupid stuff that doesn't mean anything anyway.
That's great. And that's great to hear because you guys are adorable. And it's great to see the relationship evolve and change as the show has continued for so long. And you mentioned the embryo freezing. And I do feel like that was a big topic this season because of Chrishell and just of all the women having this conversation about women's age and fertility and the pressures and the restraints that can come with, getting older for a woman. And it felt, just because the show moves so quick, it felt like maybe Chrishell and Jason started having those conversations very soon, but of course they had been together longer than we had all known or they had announced. And we saw a really emotional conversation with you, Amanda, and Jason when he really was trying to come to a decision on whether he wanted kids. And it was heartbreaking to watch. Amanda started crying. And did you feel like maybe he was feeling the pressure to have a baby and he just couldn't get there?
Yeah. I mean, it really was heartbreaking to watch, and we've had multiple conversations, and he was so torn because he knows how important it is to her, and she means the absolute world to him. Like he would have stayed with her forever. But it's simply like he just wasn't there, like with the kid thing. He wasn't sure he ever wanted to have kids. He's not really sure. He's like, maybe he could wrap his head around, maybe he could get there like in a couple years or something like that. But because of the timing, because of her age and her desire, she wants one now. And he's like, he can't make her wait for a couple years where then he could still say, I'm not ready. And so it was just like this heartbreaking thing where he knows he's going to lose her if he tells her how he feels. But it's not fair to her if he like doesn't tell her. So yeah, it was super emotional. There were many, many more tears than just what you guys saw. We film a lot more. We have many conversations when we're not filming, and there were many tears talking to both Chrishell and Jason.
Yeah, but I feel like the tears also represent how much you guys supported their relationship as well, and how real it was.
Yeah. They were an amazing couple. They really were. And so happy.
Jason has always, from what we've seen, been able to get along with exes, you being one of them. And how has now the dynamic shifted, if at all, between the two of them? I assume like after a breakup, you don't want to be around your ex all the time, but you guys are all really close.
Yeah, got tricky right in the very in the beginning. I mean, they're fine now, but I mean, you can't expect people to just immediately go back, like just be okay. And we're like, oh, we're just friends now. we're madly in love, but we're just friends now, and be okay with that. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of an adjustment period and healing, I think, after a breakup. So so it was kind of difficult for, I mean, for them especially, but also for our friends to kind of have to pick and choose who to invite like out. Like you're like, you can't do both. And normally we're like, everybody come on. And you had to kind of not pick teams, but pick and choose, like, and alternate who you're spending time with. So, but no, they're fine. They're fine now. I mean, they're not best friends yet, but they're good with each other, and always will care about each other, and I will be back to normal very soon. But it just takes a while.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us. We loved season 5 and hope that how are you feeling with everyone now watching season 5, and how did you feel about where you're at the end of this season?
I'm good.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like you it was kind of smooth sailing as far as like the life of Mary, right? I was like, this is great promotion, all good things. There's drama. There's certainly drama, but it's not at your doing.
Yeah, I wasn't crying.
Yeah.
I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't know. I know it was I feel like I was good. I'm good with all the girls. Obviously besides Christine, yeah. I think we're all getting back to a point where we're all supporting each other. We're all trying to get along and happy for each other's successes. I mean, with that exception, I think we have a very good dynamic in the office like now.
Yeah, definitely. And if the LA market is anything like the New York market right now, I'm sure you guys are all doing very well.
It is crazy. It is absolutely
nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's not. We're in New York, so it's been crazy. But thank you so much, Mary, for joining us. And we'll have to wait and see what really went down at the end with Christine in another season.
Unfortunately, but we will watch.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, it's yeah. I can't say much more.
Nope, we totally understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.